Hey everyone, I'm here today with Michaela Caratini. Michaela, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. To start off with, I'd like the elevator pitch of your creative career.
Okay, I'm a writer and an actor. I started out in musical theater in Germany, where I grew up, and then in New York City. I studied theater, writing, psychology, and criminology, and just in the last few years made the switch to film. In that time, I was nominated for 4 individual acting awards. I won Most Outstanding Body of Work in Los Angeles, and just a couple months ago, my first writing project won an award.
Congratulations, what was that?
That was Best Foreign Short at Idlewild International.
Well done, that's great.
Thank you.
Now, as an actor, I know that you've worked in several countries in film. What did you do to get your first international feature?
My first international feature was because I was living overseas, but since that time I've worked on large and small projects all over the world, which was my goal. It was really exciting. And those projects have come about in a few different ways. So some of them have come about because there was a production company in Sydney that was co-producing with a production company in another country. So for example, the film that I shot in Milan was a co-production between Australia and Italy. Other projects have come about because I've been networking at film festivals where my films were showing, and those people knew me and knew my work, and they cast me based on those events. As we know, film festivals are industry business conventions, and it's really important you show up to those. And then the other thing that I do is I market quite regularly and consistently with a newsletter, and I run a blog called Actors Gone Global, which is actually all about this subject, about how to reach out and extend your overseas market. And it's essentially the same things that you're doing in your own local market. You just have to have the courage to go out there and do them further away.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, as you say, going to an international film festival, it's the business convention in your industry, so it's an absolute must if you're involved in a film, otherwise you don't really get the value from it. But would you say there's value in going to an overseas film festival if you're not in any of the films?
Absolutely. If you're interested in getting work in that market, it is one of the most important things you can do. People are going to see your face, they're going to know who you are, and you're going to be meeting the people that you're hopefully going to be collaborating with and working with in the future. Some festivals, the larger ones, they won't take you seriously until you've been there 2, 3, 4 times. They're waiting to see if you have longevity. They're waiting to see if you're a serious filmmaker. So it's really worth showing up to those ones if you want work in that market.
So it sounds like it's a long play then. You've got to
It's absolutely a long game, yes.
Great. Okay, so on another note, I saw your website. You have a statement on one of the pages there saying that if someone's interested in collaborating with you, to get in touch. What's the thinking behind putting a statement like that there?
Right, well, the statement happens after I've described kind of who I am and what services I offer. And so I'm hoping that if my brand has clicked in with any opportunities that a reader has available, that they will take that invitation and reach out to me about those opportunities. I'm also hoping that will tap into the unconscious bias to want to answer a question when you've been asked one. And finally, I'm hoping that it reassures people that they can reach out to me if they think I'm a fabulous person that they want to collaborate with, but they don't have a project yet, that we can work on something together and come up with something together.
Okay, so you're happy to just meet someone and have a coffee and talk about a potential project, even if there's nothing concrete there?
Gosh, yes. In fact, that last project that I work on came about that way. There was a director, a DP, and another actor that I wanted to work with, and we didn't have a project, so I wrote it. And yeah, I invest in people over projects, and if we really want to work together, we'll find a way.
Excellent, excellent. Final question. If you had someone come up to you and they were interested in breaking into the creative industries, what's the first piece of advice that you would give them?
Be your own agent. I have so many people who talk to me about whether or not they have an agent, or whether or not they have the right agent for them, or whether or not their agent is good enough. And that isn't a key factor in success, I found. Okay. What's going to be a key factor in success is whether you are out there building those relationships. You know, whatever you wish that your agent was doing, you go out there and do that. You build relationships with producers, with directors, with casting directors. Those people can then hire you directly, and you bypass all those gatekeepers. And an agent can be a really important part of your team, but you need to be head of that team.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, not to just lean on them and expect them to do everything for you and sort of go, well, I've got an agent, so now I can just sit back and wait.
Nothing happens.
Absolutely. Michaela, thank you so much for your time and your wonderful advice.
Thank you for listening.
See you guys.
Bye.